Hello and welcome to week 26's Dinosaw. I think week 26 puts us halfway through the year, so that's very exciting. Also, other exciting thing is I'm technically on holiday this week, so sorry about the hat. I'm not really expecting to do this today. So yes, another 7 interesting, curious and innovative things I thought you might like to see. So let's crack on. So first of all, you can now buy Boston Dynamics Spot the Dog thing, robot dog thing, otherwise known as the killer robot dog thing. So if you have $74,500, then you too can buy one of these. So previously these were only available to partners and academics, but now anybody can rock up and buy one of these should you have that amount of money. So you can only have 2 each. So if you do want to potentially put together a evil dog army, then you might want to get some of your friends to get some of these for you as well. So very slick video. Go to the website and put in your order. The video, has all of the usual sort of product benefits, as and tell you what you can do, what you can carry. It's waterproof, all those sorts of things. So yeah, so if you want to do some research, or if you want to use these out in the field to go and do some surveying, that sort of thing, or just want to have these to wander around your millionaire's mansion, then now you can. Ikea. So this was a really interesting experiment. So this is with a company called Space 10, who are a sort of design research lab, and they've done a lot of sort of research into homes and that sort of thing. So this sounds like the perfect brief to get, really. So this is IKEA saying, what could we do to show how technology can improve and make the home more fun and an interesting place to be. So there are 18 experiments on the website. Each one has a little video and an explanation, and essentially they're all little flights of fancy, but within the realms of possibility. So you got, for instance, like could you just surprise me, show what I could do with this corner of my room, how sound and sonics can interact with the space around you, and using virtual reality and things like that, you could sort of show how things work. This one, for instance, is showing you, if you bought a lamp, wouldn't it be lovely to see how the light can change for day and seasons and things like that before you bought it. There's really good other experiments about using VR glasses to turn bits of furniture into characters for kids, how you can create your own furniture using your hands and gestures, for instance, or even furniture that can respond to being damaged or being drawn on, for instance, and it'll just say, look, by the way, I've been drawn on with crayons, I need some help. So really interesting. Go and have a look at those. They're just fun to see. So this is the next version, really, of a bit of technology that we've seen a few times called Pix-to-Pix. So what it allows you to do is draw a picture of something just using freehand, and it would then try to generate as best it could a photorealistic version of what you were drawing. Previously what it did is it took your absolute lines and drawings to try and create it. So this one, for instance, when we're trying to create a face, it would literally take the face that you drew and try and create it. If you're a bad drawer, it would create a bad face. What this is doing is it's taking the sort of the spirit of what you're drawing and then saying, right, okay, yeah, I see you're trying to draw a mouth there. I've got a couple of mouths that look like that, but I've got some good ones, essentially. So, so that's what it's doing. So this is just the demo at the moment, so you can't play with this. But it's really interesting how they've taken on this kind of deep face, as they call it, this kind of deep drawing one stage further into saying, well, you don't have to be a proficient drawer to get good results out of this. So that's interesting. So they've made it into, I think, SIGGRAPH, which is a great conference to be in. So they'll present it there, and who knows, after that we might get to play with it and see what we can do with it. So this is a bizarre little report that I just happened across, really, was that they're now going, the UK government, as of the next registration plates in the UK, it's in 2020, are going to release this green flash on the number plates to denote that you're driving an electric-only vehicle. So this is for local councils and law enforcement or whoever to then say you have certain privileges being an electric vehicle, so you can dock at charging stations, for instance, or you might get a preferential treatment in town centres or things like that, shopping centres. So if you see these in a few months' time, that's what it is. Originally they were going to have completely green plates, so the reflective material was going to be green, but in the end it turns out they couldn't be seen by the ANPR cameras, the automatic number plate recognition cameras, so they couldn't fine you for speeding. So that was obviously more important. I thought the other thing was quite interesting was that I don't remember last week, if you listened to this last week, I reported on Germany's fiscal policy, and they put 2.4 billion euros into their electric vehicle charging stations and 6,000 euros worth of essentially sweeteners if you go and buy a car. The UK have put I think £12 million, so a tiny amount in comparison. And you know, it goes. And by the way, there are no subsidies if you buy an electric vehicle. And I think there's something like a £1 million or £2 million subsidy for trying to get people into the industry. So it's kind of tiny, but there you go. Make of it what you will. This was actually from a year ago, but all of a sudden the press have picked it up, and I've picked it up, and have made it famous, essentially. So this is using a thing that you might not have realized iPhones have, and if you've got an iPhone you might not have even recognized what shortcuts are, but they're a way of automating things, so that you could, for instance, if you received an email from a certain recipient or a certain person, then let the lights flash, or if you left the garage door open, then you could say something to Siri to go and close it for you. So it's a sort of if this then that, if you know that service. It's sort of an internal version of that for iPhones. So what the developer had done a year ago is created a shortcut for Siri that says, hey Siri, I'm getting pulled over. That would then trigger a whole sequence of events. It would turn down the brightness on your phone so that you couldn't actually see the screen being active, which is nice and covert. It would then start to alert people in your list that you've actually pre-done when you set up the shortcut that you were being pulled over. It would automatically start to record video in the front camera. And as soon as you finished, you do have to actually finish the video, and then it will upload it to the iCloud or Dropbox, and then send the message on to the recipient. So essentially it's all the evidence you need that you're getting pulled over. So obviously this was a year ago, and given what's going on right now, this has become like front and center, really, really interesting. So the two things of this one, it's a really interesting use of the technology, but also if you didn't know that shortcuts existed, they're quite cool. Go and have a play with them. But you know, let's not take away from the gravitas of what's going on here as well. From the sublime to the ridiculous almost, this one is just a bizarre little demo of driving around cities. So this is called Drive and Listen. And all it really does is it uses some driving footage taken from YouTube, and there is plenty of this sort of stuff on YouTube, apparently, it turns out, of driving around cities. And all you do is you just watch it on your screen, and you can listen to a live local radio station of the city there and then. So you get a sense of what the city is like to drive around in the back of a taxi or in a car. So this one is Spain, for instance, and I'm just about to go to Cuba. I just looked at it, and I was absolutely blown away just for how intriguing it was. I spent quite a lot of time on it, and it gives you a sort of a really empathetic connection with the country as well. So it's a really interesting way of doing a quick world tour, maybe even choosing your next holiday, I don't know. But I just thought it was really neat. Go and have a play and see what you think. And then finally, we have the biggest announcement probably this week, which is Twitter Voice. So this is a new feature. Some people have had it for a while. Celebrities have got it at the moment, but it will be rolling out to, I think, anybody with an iOS device and then Android later. So look out for it in the next couple of weeks. We'll all get this, essentially. But this is Twitter Voice. So this is recording an audio version of the tweet. So you get 120 seconds of audio. If you roll over that 120 seconds, it automatically just keeps kind of essentially doing threads. So it just creates new and new and new. So you can essentially have a rant as long as you want, and it will just keep recording them. So there's a couple of things with this one. It might be a total doozy of a feature. We don't really know. It might be brilliant, and I'm erring on the side of it might be brilliant because you need to see how people use these and how they go down. So one of the problems with Twitter and all social media really, especially text-based, is this sort of inability to infer the humanity from the words itself. So adding some sort of voice and humanity to the actual communication might help that. So it might be a brilliant thing. They've been quite sensible and have only allowed it to be the initial tweet. So you can't do a reply to somebody's tweet as a voice tweet. So it can only be the initial tweet. And of course you can reference people in there, but I can only imagine certain leaders in the world or certain celebrities in the world getting hold of this. The third kind of interesting thing is like, how are they going to moderate this? So Twitter have been relatively open, the fact they haven't got the most moderators compared to the other social media networks. So and voice is much more difficult to moderate. It's longer to moderate. You have to kind of listen to it. You can use machine learning to listen to it and try and automatically figure out what's in the words, but you still have to really go through it, because obviously, as we know, intonation and nuance is everything. So it's really interesting. Have a look. See if it's on your. You might want to go and update your Twitter to see whether you're going to get the feature. It won't do it automatically. You'll have to do it, an app refresh. However, start to see what people are doing. I've had a listen to a few of these so far, and quite frankly, they're just quite irritating so far, but let's wait. I think also certain world leaders, some that I'll just let you draw the dotted lines, but some I don't think they allow you to directly target those people with voice tweets and your initial message. So Donald Trump, for instance, I think somebody's already tried to send him an opinion, shall we say. It didn't work. So really interesting. See what's going to happen. We'll either create a whole load of chaos, or it'll be a great feature that people learn to use in a very special and creative way. And that's it. So thank you very much, and I will see you next week.